Sure. Yeah.
Have you had many other races experience in or outside of uni other than that?
Nah, in fact, this is gonna get quite deep, but I guess that's what we're here for. I didn't actually realize things about my own self. Like, I'm black, yeah. Both my parents are black, but I look like I'm mixed. I didn't realize this, so to speak, because I know that I'm a black man. So when I went to uni, it was about 18, 19 years old when I first started to realize that people looked at me and thought I was mixed race. And for years, people that had known me all my life had looked at me and just assumed I was mixed race.
I thought it was mixed race.
Yeah, because my mum went to come to most parent evenings with me. My dad never used to really like going to parents' evenings. And my mum is...
Is your dad alright?
Yeah, both of them. They're still together, bro. They're together right now. Yeah, man. They live in Barbados together, but my dad's here at the moment because he hasn't been too
So,
well.
quick question: who's from Dominica?
My mum is half Dominican, half Barbadian. My dad is full Barbadian.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So that was massive for me, and it was also around the same sort of time.
So what was massive? What was the first time you had that experience?
Realizing that people looked at me and just assumed that I was mixed race for all my life. I thought people just knew that I was a black man.
So the questions, when you started getting questions like, what would people ask you?
They would say, "So which one of your parents is white?"
Okay.
But thinking about it now, the barber did that as well. I remember one time he said, I was like, "No, man," but I just kind of brushed it off.
Yeah.
But then when that happened, it's like I realized, oh my God, and I spoke to someone from my high school and they were like, "Oh, I just always assumed that." And I was like, "Oh, shizzle." So people, huh?
Does it go for you?
It did, yeah. Because I'm proud. I'm a proud black man. I'm very proud of being black, and I'm also not very proud of the reasons why my skin is so light.
You're not proud of the reasons why.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate?
My grandma, my dad's mum, was a servant to a white man, a judge, who was originally from Scotland, but he was based in Guyana and Barbados. I don't really need to finish the story. Like, as many situations happened in the Caribbean, it's nothing new. It's nothing for me to even be. Yeah. But so my mom says to me, you don't know. It could have been that they fell in love and stuff. I'm like, Mama, come on. Like, let's be real. Like, it is possible. But the reason why I don't think it is possible is because apparently my granddad, rest in peace, years after, he tried to make contact with that side of the family, but apparently they told him something on the lines of, we don't really want to know you. Like, my man had his own family in Scotland, so what he was doing there was like a bit of miscellaneous extra. And so yeah, and I think, do you know what, I'll tell you why maybe I held malice towards it, because at the same sort of time is when I first watched Roots.
That changes every black person's perspective of Roots, man.
Especially when you think about Chicken George and Kunta Kinte's descendants, because they ended up getting their lineage mixed as well because of being on the slave plantation and the slave master having his way with this is really deep conversation. I don't even should be talking about it, but and obviously he had his wicked way with the girl and created a mixed race child, which was Chicken George. And then it made me think to myself, and my granddad's middle name was George as well, but it made me think to myself, so hold on, wait, my granddad was born out of a similar exploitation, which didn't sit well with me. And so that compounded with, oh shizzle, everyone thinks that I'm mixed race. I was in a very, that was a very identity conflictive time for me. Because I was like, ooh, because I have to be honest, I can understand why people will think it. Look how light my skin is, bro. I am very light skinned. Yeah. I'm probably more light-skinned than some people who are mixed race. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But I was very proud of the fact that I am 3/4 beige and I'm 1/4 Dominican. People ask me where you're from. I never say England. Yeah. Never. Yeah. Because I'm proud. My dad was born in Barbados. My mum was born here, but she went to school in Barbados and in Dominica. Like, I love those two places. You know what I mean? I love where I'm from,
So
and I
you've been
love.
to Jamaica?
Of course, yes, man. I'm gonna go soon again as well. Cause my grandma's always, you don't come and see me, we. I will drop down. I will drop down dead before you come and see me.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I can't hear that one more time. It's, we papa boje.
Papa Boje.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
I can't hear that again before I go back. So I've got to go back and pay homage to my heritage and my grandmother, man.
So what happens when there's a conversation about colorism? How do you fit into that conversation, do you feel? Or what's your argument on that?
I don't like colorism, man.
As in
like,
the topic, or
I don't like it as an actuality of our time. It's not even a topic. It's an actuality. It's happening. I don't like it, man. Like, I think some people can say, well, yeah, but I guess you're speaking from a light-skinned privileged perspective. But I've never, and you know what, I'm gonna be real with you. Someone said to me,
because if someone was to say to you, you have light-skin privilege, are they lying?
And this is where we're going. Someone said to me, maybe about a year ago, maybe more than a year ago, they were like, oh, do you think you'd be as far as you are in your TV career if you weren't light-skinned?
That's a touchy question.
And I was like, I never thought about that. I was like, oh, would I? It made me think, and I'm like, yo, have I garnered opportunity as a result of my complexion? Bro, I hope not, bro. But at the same time, I'm not ignorant enough to not realize that I'm not use the word opposing, other races can be a bit more comfortable with me because my skin's lighter. For some reason, lighter skin is seen as less intimidating. I don't understand that still, but I know that is a reality for some. Back to colorism. I don't like it, bro. But maybe because, do you know what it is? I've never looked at myself. Like, I've grew up in a circle where all my friends were black. I had like white friends and stuff as well. Those are my white brothers.
You're black,
Those are my white brothers. Oh, that's my Indian. That's my Brazilian Donny. Didn't really care. I know he's white or whatever, but that's my Donny. But my main circle was black. So when I'm thinking about us, I'm thinking we're the black boys. I'm not thinking, oh, we're the black boys plus me, the mixed race boy. But then I was like, well, that's actually what people probably thought for a long time. And then when I think about it as well, like, the man used to be like, oh, Roach, go and talk to them, like see if they can bring us in. So like, if we're in a situation where we're in a bit of a sticky one, like trying to get through the barriers, but no one's got a ticket, oh, Roach, go and talk to them. And I always thought it was because I know how to speak. And I think it is part of that as well. Yeah, I always knew how to speak to people. But maybe it's also because, and I remember one time as well, it's like, man will be like, you're light skin, man, go and see if they give you, and I'm like, and I just go and do it, and I'm like, but hold on a second, I'm light skinned.
Since recognizing that, has that made you change the way you think, feel, act, or see situations that you're in? Has that changed your perspective on everything since that was brought to you?
Unfortunately, it does, man. Like, it's made me really want to make sure that I highlight black beauty, black achievement, black people, even more. I did it anyway, but even more, because I do realize the lack of recognition, the lack of presence of our darker skinned black people on a
like a media
probably. I say that. I think it's more our black females, to be honest, because you know what? Most of our guys that are doing really well, which is good, are like dark-skinned black brothers. You know, our Stormzies, our Skeptors, our Dizzies, our
Do you think that could be with how people view men and women as well, mixed with dark skin too?
Yeah. Do you know what? Someone said to me once that, you know, the dark-skinned female is the most feared in society.
Yeah.
And I've never thought about that, but it made me think. I think it is. I think a lot of people think that dark-skinned females are angry, are aggressive, are scary, and I don't know what it is. I think it's just because they're so rich. They're rich in energy. They're rich in life. Like, they're rich in love. Like, I remember someone showed me something the other day, and it said something like, a black woman has to, oh, what was it? A black woman has has the job of making a black man feel like the world is not against him, something like that. Anyway, it's a black man's job to make a black man feel to make a black man feel feel loved, even though the world is against him, or something like that. And I was like, Jesus, like, bro, it's so deep, because not only have they got their own responsibility for themselves, they're trying to position themselves, but then they're also supposed to be supporting us as black men to make us not suffer underneath being the most burden laden.
Moving on to a topic of misogyny though.
Yeah.
Is that a woman's job to do that for a man, regardless of her colour?
No. But the quote was more coming from an aspect of they've got this burden as well.
Okay, and their man's burden and their own.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Because ultimately it is.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
Because now
Yeah.
thinking about another woman of any other.
And it won't have to, and it's not necessarily your partner as well. It could be your mother.
Yeah, brother.
Our mother knows when she has a black child, I've got a mad responsibility now. Another thing that's happening right now as well is that we're having a lot of mixing. So a white mother, she now may not even realize what she's got, but she's got a massive responsibility, because no matter what your child is, him just having that half black, he's seen as black, bro. I think they had a speech back in the day where they said if a child has a drop of black blood, he's black.
Yeah, that's an American thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and that isn't something that is just myth, that is reality.
Yeah,
like, they're not looking at you and saying, oh, I wonder if you're Irish. They're looking at you saying, oh, black boy, probably Jamaican.
Everyone thinks the Caribbean is Jamaica.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, that's a whole new angle we've got now as well. We've got white women that have now, I don't want to call it a burden, but they have the responsibility and the task of protecting their black sons and daughters. And I think the first time we've seen it on a national scale is when Mark Duggan's mum came out and spoke, and it kind of hit people in the head. It's like,
or possibly Stephen Lawrence, but there was a big gap between them.
Oh, of course. But I think in terms of the new, like what we,
the new generation,
because in terms of like, you know, this, because we have a very mixed race as a group is one of the fastest rising ethnicity groups. Is the fastest rising ethnicity groups in this country.
Yeah.
So that of course, Stephen Lawrence, Doreen, of course, and I've met Doreen. Like, rest in peace, Stephen. Yes, of course I have. But I played Stephen Lawrence's best friend in a production called The Colour of Justice. Yeah, in Birmingham. It was called The Colour of Justice. It's based on Stephen Lawrence's murder, and I played Dwayne Brooks. And I wasn't even supposed to play it, but the audition was so strong that they said, look, this is supposed to be something that's read out, but we want you to learn this as a monologue. I had to learn like a 7-page monologue and deliver it live to stage. It was mad. But back on point, the reason I say that is because I think it's the first time that people realize, we now have white women who have the responsibility now of protecting black men, because as much as Mark was mixed race, rest in peace,
he was black. Yeah.
He was killed as a black man. Yeah. They didn't think they were killing a half white man. Yeah. In their head, they were killing a black man. Yeah. Or chasing down a black man and accidentally killing a black man. But
what's your views on that? Do you think it was intentional? Do you think there was a conspiracy behind it?
Yeah. It's definitely intentional. Like,
because the argument will be, and listen to me playing devil's advocate, the argument would be he wasn't exactly a saint.
No. Yeah, we knew that. Like, we knew the collective from the, if you were involved in the streets, you knew the collective. Like, I'm from Northwest, they're from North, but like it wasn't conjoined, but man knew the collective. I knew maybe even members that were associated with the collective. I used to see them out on the raving scene and stuff like that as well, popping beer, champagne and everything there.
So,
yeah. But it's still not the point.
Did you see Mark Duggan?
Yeah, but they were. I don't want to. They were part of a collective. They were part of a collective. Yeah, and but it's still no reason. Like, I could be part of a collective that were known to be active, or maybe known to do certain things, drug dealing. Not saying it was drug dealing, gang membership, but just because I was associated with it doesn't mean that you have the right to take my life away. Yeah. It doesn't give you the right to take my life away.
What did you think of the riots after that?
Misguided.
Yeah. A great opportunity, but one that was spoilt.
Yeah.
With the wrong action. We
aimed at anger at the wrong places. We aimed at our own communities by taking things and smashing up things in our own community.
Yeah. How would you describe the people who've done that? Because on one hand, you get people that sympathise or empathise and say it was due to guys and men being frustrated with the
Of course
conditions
it
in the
was.
streets and
Which is
situations.
why
But then on the flip side, and I'm merely playing devil's advocate here, everyone has a responsibility for themselves and what they do.
Yeah, 100%. I don't judge them. I just think it was misguided because I remember as well before it happened. I remember saying, "Yo," even when I found out that he because I found out at first that he had got killed in the way he got killed, and I said it, and this is no word of a lie. I swear to God, I said, "There's gonna be uproar."
Is it?
I knew it because the thing is, you don't understand, bro. These issues were building. That time there was a time when, if I'm not mistaken, I remember like a summer before, I had been stopped and searched. I had stopped and searched papers like up like this.
Swear down.
But they were just gripsing us up and just violating us non-stop.
Yeah.
The tension was massive between us and the police. This was bubbling, and if it wasn't Mark, rest in peace, it probably would have been something else, bro. But my issue, what I was worried about, especially after seeing what happened in America, is I'm just happy this didn't happen, is that it didn't start sparking off this whole, oh, we could murder, excuse me, young black men mentality in the police.
I think generally though, that's probably because the culture of the police is different and they don't have the access to guns like in America. That the gun culture in America drives a lot of their thinking.
Yeah.
So,
but saying that though, like, if people are to do some research, I remember, I couldn't believe that I learned this at university, but I remember doing a cultural studies lecture, and I remember they educated me to the amount of young black men that lost their life in police custody in the UK in the 90s.
It's a lot. It was a lot.
Bro, there was loads, and up until now, they're still unsolved. Yeah. So my thing is, it's like, I'm worried, you know. I'm worried for what I feel. I don't know.
What worries you the most?
Huh?
What worries you?
I'm worried. Not worried me the most, but I'm worried because you see, I'll tell you something. Anything that happens in America happens here.
Yeah, easy. Yeah.
Whether we know it or not.
Yeah.
So stuff like bugging phones and stuff, like over there, that's commonly known. They can use that in court and stuff. I think over here it's actually been approved now by courts where you can have certain levels of intelligence like that. But on a bigger,
to be fair, England's like, we are the most watched country in the world.
But on a bigger level, anything that happens there happens here, or eventually happens here.
Yeah.
So my thing is, how they're killing our brothers out there is insane, and with nobody getting prosecutions or convictions. My worry was, and my worry still is actually, to be honest, is if that starts coming over here as a culture. Oh, we thought you had a knife, so we had to take him down. But the thing is, we have tasers here. They use tasers first. But they have tasers there, but they're still shooting brothers. But it's because they have guns. Like you said, people are allowed to have guns themselves. And sometimes they say that they thought they have a gun, But like my worry is, especially with how thankfully, I feel like the spate of violence has maybe lessened in the last couple of months. But it might have lessened, or it might just be covered less, because there's always an agenda with the media.
Always.
But
I'm so glad you've got so much to talk about.
But I feel like I hope it has lessened. But what I was saying is that the way that the violence was going is that it would give almost cause for response. And what I didn't want to see is young black men being killed like how they were, or like how they are in America. I don't want to see young black men in America being killed either. Do you know what I mean? But I just know that we tend to, like, even our rap scene right now is where the American rap scene was, I would say maybe in the early 90s. No, maybe the 90s. Like, we're starting to, we've got a few people we've got guys that are actually making money out of the scene now. It's actually become part of the mainstream, like where guys are going into the mainstream charts and charting. So we're always a bit behind, but we tend to emulate. But I just don't want us to emulate the bad things, and that was a worry for me. But it probably will, as long as, I guess, we don't really have, because guns is what are giving them the reason to shoot people. We thought you had a gun. He was reaching for a gun. Oh, we had a gun on him. You know what I mean? The gun thing is a main reason for how they're. Well, sometimes it's not. They're just shooting, man. But
where do your passions come from, man? Just your passion to obviously to do what you're doing. The fact that you're passionate about the topics that you covered as well. was there a point where you said where something clicked or switched over, or was it a gradual thing? Where does it come from?
Bit of both, man. It was gradual and it's something clicked. You know what it is? Being from where I'm from Harlesden in northwest London. Historically renowned where I'm from, because the borough of Brent as a whole, when I was a young teenager, we had the worst gun crime and knife crime rates in the whole of London. But nobody understood why, because we are the smallest borough, if not one of the smallest boroughs. In fact, Northwest London as a whole is small. We're in a certain part of Northwest London now. We can literally go to the other side of Northwest London in half an hour.
What's that?
You know what I mean? It's less than that maybe. Okay. It's not far. Even from where I'm from to where we are right now is about, I could get you there in 15 minutes if I'm driving. Okay. Probably less. So it's not big, but it had some of the biggest rates of knife and gun crime. No one didn't understand it. There was a lot of reports here. They bought like the Northern Irish kind of like police officers to come over here, like to try and like come and patrol. Yeah, a lot of stuff happened. I think we were the main reason for the Trident Initiative Task Force that came about. They had a show called Heart of Harlesden, trying to understand what is this Harlesden place. Yeah, it really was a mecca of madness. Do you know what I mean? It was crazy, and that's what I grew up in. Like, so for instance, somebody got shot in the head outside my front door, bro. Like,
your front door?
Yeah. Like, my door was here, and the guy got shot in the head just like over there.
Were you there?
No. I was at school, but I came home. I had to sign in. It happened in broad daylight, which is mad. I had to come in to sign in with the police, my name and what number I lived at to get down my road, because they had like forensics and all sorts going on. And I remember as well, what's really, really bad is that I remember nothing. Yeah, another person got killed. And I remember even I was at the window trying to do like little gun signs because I saw the news. Imagine they had that. Imagine I had footage of that. And you got me doing what I'm doing now, and this little young me doing yo. You know what I mean? But I shouldn't make light of it. But I say that to say this: it showed me just how desensitized I had become to violence. Yeah. And that's something that I'm seeing that clicked with me as well about young people. The desensitization to extreme violence. So yeah, back to what I was saying. So gradual. So.